All right, let's get into a classic tale about a powerful king, a seriously high stakes heist, and a lesson in justice so wild it might just change how you think about crime itself.
I know it sounds like the beginning of a bad joke, right? But it's actually the brilliant setup for our story. We're going to see how a powerful sultan cooks up this daring plan to uncover a truth that nobody else could even see.
So, we've got the great Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni. He was known for being powerful and deeply religious, but he had this secret habit. At night, he'd put on a disguise and just walk the streets of his own city. Why? Because he wanted to see what life was really like for his people, to understand their problems without his royal court sugarcoating everything. So on one of these nights, he stumbles upon these four guys huddled in the shadows, obviously up to no good. He asks them what they're doing, and they're surprisingly honest about it. We're thieves. But here's the twist. Instead of calling the guards, the disguised sultan does something completely unexpected. He asks to join their crew. Now, this was not your average group of criminals. They were a little suspicious of this newcomer. They told the sultan, look, we only take on new members if they have a really special, extraordinary skill. And so, one by one, they started showing off their incredible talents. And this crew was basically a team of specialists. You had one guy who could literally smell hidden treasure no matter where it was. Another could understand what any animal was saying. The third was a master locksmith, no key needed ever. And the fourth, he had a perfect memory for faces. He could see you once, in the dark, and never forget you. This wasn't just a gang. It was a heist dream team. So then it was the Sultan's turn. He looks them dead in the eye and says, my skill is this. Even if a criminal is standing on the gallows, rope around his neck, ready to be executed, with just a simple nod of my head, I can have him set free. Whoa, the thieves were blown away. That kind of power was way beyond anything they had. So, right then and there, they made him their leader. And just like that, with their mysterious new leader calling the shots, the crew set their sights on the most ambitious, most insane target you could possibly imagine, the royal treasury itself. As they're sneaking towards the palace, this street dog starts barking like crazy. The Sultan turns to the animal speaker and asks, hey, what's he saying? The thief listens for a second and then says, well, it's saying that one of the five of us is the Sultan. The whole crew just laughs it off, like, yeah, right. But that little seed of truth had just been planted. The heist itself? It went off without a hitch. The scent tracker led them right to the treasury, the locksmith popped open every single door, and inside, oh man, it was a fortune in gold and jewels. They gathered it all up, but just as they were about to leave, their new leader stopped them with a really weird command. He points to this one magnificent, priceless diamond. Leave that one, he tells them. The thieves were totally confused, but hey, this guy had some serious power, so they trusted him. They left the diamond sitting alone in the empty chest and vanished into the night. The trap was officially set. So next morning, the royal treasurer walks into the vault and sees the robbery. He sees the empty chests, but he also sees that one perfect diamond just sitting there. And in that moment, his greed just completely takes over. He thinks, what kind of idiot thief would leave this? I'll just take it for myself, and everyone will assume the thieves got it with the rest of the loot. So he pockets the diamond, runs to the Sultan, and reports that the treasury had been wiped clean. Well, since the Sultan knew exactly who to look for, his soldiers found the thieves' hideout pretty quickly. They were arrested, brought to the palace, and now the whole scene shifts to the royal court, where a seriously dramatic trial is about to kick off. The royal accountant checks the list of stolen items against what was recovered, and sure enough, one thing is missing, that priceless diamond. The thieves swear they didn't take it. They say their fifth partner told them to leave it. But to everyone else in the court, it just sounded like a desperate, flimsy lie. So, facing certain death, the scent tracker makes this incredibly bold statement to the entire court. He claims he knows exactly where that missing diamond is. And it's not hidden in some cave or buried somewhere. It's right there, in that very room. The Sultan orders the guards to search the four thieves. They're stripped, checked everywhere, but of course they find absolutely nothing.
For a second, it really looks like their bluff has been called and it's all over for them. With everyone's eyes glued to him, the scent tracker bows to the Sultan. He announces that since his friend's innocence has been proven, he will now reveal the real thief and present the missing diamond. And then, the scent tracker walks straight over to the royal treasurer, the very guy who was accusing them. He reaches into the treasurer's fancy vest, into a little secret pocket, and pulls out a small box. He opens it, and there, sparkling for the whole court to see, is the missing diamond. The treasurer's face just went white with shock and pure terror. With the truth out in the open, the whole court just erupts. But the Sultan? He's perfectly calm. The final pieces of his master plan are falling right into place, and it's time for him to deliver his judgment. At that exact moment, the fourth thief, the one with the perfect memory, is staring at the man on the throne. The disguise is gone, but the face, it's the same one. He realizes their mysterious fifth companion was the Sultan himself all along. He steps forward and says, "Your Highness, our skills have been proven. Now all that's left is for you to nod your head." The Sultan just smiles. He then turns to the court and explains the whole point of his elaborate scheme. He lays out two very different crimes. On one side, you have theft, a crime against property, against things. On the other, you have what the treasurer did, a betrayal of sacred trust, a crime against his duty, his people, and his king. Then the Sultan declares that while theft is definitely a serious crime, it's something that can be forgiven. But a betrayal of trust? Well, he explains that's a corruption of the soul itself. That is a far deeper, far more dangerous crime. And so, the Sultan delivered his final verdict. The treasurer was arrested for his profound betrayal. As for the four thieves, they were not only pardoned, but they were gifted the entire treasure they had stolen. And they were so moved by this incredible act of wisdom and mercy that the four of them gave up their life of crime on the spot and lived as honest men from that day forward. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? The Sultan obviously thought so, but what about you? In our world today, where do we draw that line? It's a powerful idea to think about, that real justice is sometimes about weighing a lot more than just what was lost. Thanks for joining us for this one.